as spectacular as Easter Sunday is, and believe me, for a church musician, there's no more spectacular Sunday with the brass and the choirs and the amazing music. And of course, the news, the truth that Jesus has risen from the dead. There's nothing more spectacular than that. But as spectacular as all of that is, where resurrection comes alive for me is in the stories of Jesus' followers. And I love these 50 days after Easter, when we can really explore those and live those and realize that's our story too. These Jesus followers had believed in him all the way. They lived his message. They lived his teachings. They were transformed by life with him. And that life was snatched away, and they weren't ready for it to go away. They didn't want it to end. It wasn't a good ending. It was a gruesome ending. And after Jesus was crucified, and even after that first morning in the garden when he rose and spoke Mary's name, his followers were beset by doubt and fear. They had suffered betrayal from their friends, and they had betrayed him themselves, were suffering with the guilt of that. They had been completely betrayed by institutions they had trusted. They didn't know where to turn. They didn't know what to do. And so many of them just started going back to the old lives they knew. But you can't do that. You can't do that once everything's been taken away, and you can't do that once the good news of Jesus' resurrection comes back and becomes part of your life. So for each of them, they had these moments when they were suddenly aware of Jesus' presence, and yet at first, none of them recognized him. Some of them didn't even believe that it could be him, and yet somehow that presence completely turned their lives around. To me, that's resurrection. We are let down by ourselves, by our friends, by the institutions that we trusted. We're let down by the suddenness of death, by losing a job or a loved one, by dreams that don't get realized. And yet the Easter message, the message of resurrection is not that those things aren't going to happen. They do happen. And not that we can completely forget them, but that we can live beyond them. That there is a new life waiting for us, ready for us, already in us. And that new life is God's love through all the tough stuff and beyond it all too. So for me, that's resurrection, and that's the wonder of these 50 days, to remember again and again and again that the promise is life and love, and that we can only find that when we let go of our own stuff and reach out, recognize Jesus in our midst. Happy Easter. Let's live the resurrection together.